go one direction, unless it's a storm or some shit. But it usually goes from west to east. Like, I always feel the wind blowing, and we always have rain going from west to east, and sometimes sort of southwest to try, blowing northeast. But anyway, sailboats. I said all that just to say the Indians are changing their name. So I hope the Guardians win the World Series. And with that mumbo jumbo, we'll be right back right after this.
If you're not offended yet, stay tuned to this next segment. Mr. A.
You're listening to a man who's so sexy it's completely ridiculous. Mr. Anthony Scott Dover. Yummy.
That wasn't very smooth, I had to admit. Anyway, we're back. And since I was talking about sports, talking about the Cleveland Indians changing their name because of being politically correct, changing their name to the Guardians. Now let's talk a little bit about Simone Bayonne. Simone Bayonne, who everybody seems to have something to say about, the gymnast Simone Bayonne. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Simone Bayonne. Anyway, Simone not dropped out of the Olympics. There's several events in gymnastics, so the gymnasts have they have a lot of choices if that they can compete in. If they have made the Olympics in certain events, you can compete in a lot of different things if you're a gymnast. So Simone dropped out of the team events because she felt like she was hurting her team because she had gotten all in her head. And a lot of people say, oh, she needs to tough it out. She doesn't need to tough it out if she's going to hurt her team. Okay. The team probably wouldn't have said anything, but they probably would have been pissed if she would have just tried to tough it out. Reason being is because they wanted to win, and they had a good enough team to win gold. Now, they didn't win gold, actually. The team didn't. The women's gymnastics team. They didn't win gold. They did win silver. And that was after Simone dropped out of the team events. So they were able to rally and win a silver medal as a team. And so I think what Simone did, I think it was brave. I don't think, all this stuff that people are saying about her is nonsense, because if it would have been a selfish move for her to just say, you know what, I'm not quitting. I'm going to tough it out, and I'm going to, go ahead and do these events and just see if she had messed it up and they didn't win any medals, those girls would have been pissed. Now, they wouldn't have probably said anything publicly, but they would have been pissed. And this is gymnastics. It's not like other sports. These girls are twisting and turning and twirling and flipping, throwing themselves through the airs and doing all kind of ridiculous flips and turns and twists in the air. And if your mind ain't right, you can break your neck. You come down wrong and die. So her mind wasn't right, basically. And those of us who have never been in that position, it's easy for us to sit back as lazy fat assholes and say, well, she should have done this and she should have done that. You should shut the F up. You're not going to, but you should. And that's the same thing with her. She is not going to do what you think she should do. She's going to do what Simone thinks was the best thing. And I agree with her because, like I said, those other girls on the team had one chance to win a medal. And that's what they wanted to do. Now, if Simone, whatever issue she was having, wasn't up to the task, it was best for her to just drop out, let the backup gymnast come in who was hungry, in tip-top physical condition and ready to get busy. Let her step in, and then they could see what they could do, which they did. That's what happened. The backup gymnast stepped in and they won a silver medal. So that's good. You didn't win the gold medal, but you won a silver medal. Silver's a great, you know what I'm saying? I like silver. I would have preferred to win a silver medal than no medal, which would have been totally possible if the girl who's having mental issues would have still tried to play or perform, and she couldn't perform. She could have gotten hurt, and even if she didn't get hurt at all, she still could have messed up their chances to win a medal. So I think what Simone did was the right thing to do because it was a team event. It was a team event that she dropped out of. So she decided, I'm not going to mess this up for the other girls. And I will try to do the individual. I will try to get myself together and focused so I can do the individual events. So that's what's going to happen. Simone is going to try to do the individual events. And so I applaud Simone, despite the fact that everybody is saying dumb shit about her. People who don't really see this thing right and don't really understand. Simone was doing her team a favor by dropping out of the team events because, she didn't have it together mentally. She just didn't have herself together, and she needed some time to try to get focused. You know what I'm saying? To shake it off. Probably had like a psychiatrist in there talking to her or something, working with her, try to get some rest, stretch it out, hypnotize her, take her mind off of everything else except competing. That's what I would have suggested. Jedi mind trick her or something. Get her ready. Go. So anyway, we'll see what happens if she can win any medals on the let's just see if she can win any medals in the individual. If she does, then that might make it worse for people talking shit. And then they'd be like, see, she's fine. She won a medal in the individual events, but she dropped out on her team. They won the silver medal without her going the rest of the way, dumbass. So the team's fine. Yeah, but they could have won. You don't know what could have happened. They might not have medaled at all if she would have continued messing up, because she did mess up a couple times. That's why she dropped out. She knew she was physically capable of doing better than that. She just couldn't do it at the time. So anyway, we'll see what happens. Moving on. Still in sports, though. Does anyone know who Evander Kane is? Does that name sound familiar? No, it doesn't. Not for me. I didn't know who Evander Kane was. And I'm a big sports fan, so I'm not expecting most of you to know who Evander Kane is. But Evander Kane is a professional hockey player. He plays hockey for the Sharks, an NHL franchise. Let me make sure I got that right. Who does Evander Kane play for?
Evander Kane's current team is the San Jose Sharks.
Evander Kane plays for the San Jose Sharks. Anyway, Evander Kane, for those of you who don't know what's going on, Evander Kane was accused by his wife of betting on the team that he plays for and throwing games, saying that he's knee deep in gambling, and he's thrown some games to win money. So those are pretty serious accusations. So hopefully, and there is proof that he does gamble. He had a casino threatening to sue him for $500,000. The casino said that he owed him $500,000. So the guy does gamble. He can't say that he doesn't gamble. Like, this is a total lie. I don't even gamble. He does gamble. But his wife, I guess they're going to get a divorce, but currently they're still married. So Evander Kane, I don't know what position he plays, but he's plays for the San Jose Sharks. Accused of throwing games by his wife, which is an accusation that can not only get his contract terminated. So his wife saying he doesn't take care of her or the kids. He stopped paying for their house. Got gambling problems. The guy should be super rich. I mean, I do believe he signed a contract for $49 million. Let me see if I can get that information from Google. What's Evander Kane's contract worth?
$26 million. According to the Mercury News, a U.S. bankruptcy judge in March approved a stipulation filed by Kane's lawyers and those from the Sharks that extended a deadline by 90 days to June 7th for Kane to assume or reject the contract, which is worth $26 million in salary over the next 4 years.
So there you have it. Evander Kane's contract is worth $26 million, as thank you, Google. For 4 years, the next 4 years, there's no way he should be missing any payments. Even if he owed the casino $500,000, you're making $26 million for 4 years. You should be able to pay that. And stop gambling, by the way. If you're losing $500,000, I don't know how long it took him and why the casino chose to give this guy so much credit. You know what I'm saying? Give him so much credit, but stop gambling if you're losing $500,000, and stop giving it. I know this is hockey. First off, you got to be real superstar in hockey to make that kind of money. Apparently, this guy is a pretty good player. I've never heard of him before, but then again, I'm not a big hockey fan. I'm a big sports fan, but I'm not a big hockey fan, so I've never heard of this guy Evander Kane until this story popped up in the news about his wife accusing him of throwing games and being a gambling degenerate. But, you know, if he's got a contract for $26 million for 4 years, he must be pretty good.